Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So all IPR team is ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Tanvi, please take care of waiting room, huh? Sir
Yes, ma'am.
will join anytime.
Yes, ma'am. I'm looking into it. Sir has joined.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon, ma'am. Am I
Good
audible?
afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon, ma'am.
I was telling my team that sir is very punctual, so we must all be ready timely.
I try to be punctual, ma'am, all the time.
Yes, yes, sir. I've learned a lot from you. Yes. So, with your permission, can we start? We all are
We
ready.
can. We should, ma'am.
Yes.
We should.
Okay. Yes, please. Okay, beta. Who is anchoring today?
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to extend a warm welcome to all the distinguished dignitaries, respected faculty members, esteemed guests, participants, and all the attendees to the valedictory ceremony of the Collaborative Conference on Global Convergence on Intellectual Property CGCIP 2026, organized and coordinated by the Center for Intellectual Property Rights, Vivekananda School of Law and Legal Studies, WIPS-TC, in collaboration with the University of New Hampshire Franklin Pierce School of Law, Concord, USA. I am Nandini Achra, the Executive Member for Center for Intellectual Property Rights, VSLLS WIPS-TC, and it is my honor to be your host for this concluding ceremony. I now request Professor Dr. Rashmi Salpekar Ma'am, Dean, Vivekananda School of Law and Legal Studies, WIPS-TC, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Thank you. So, this is indeed an honor to welcome Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor A.P. Singh sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Ram Manohar Lohia National Law University, Lucknow. And we all of at WIPS, we know sir since more than a decade. And we have seen him, if I remember correctly, when sir was associate professor, then he became professor, and now he is vice chancellor. So we all feel a lot of like proud for ourselves that yes, from our university, first vice chancellor has become our Professor A.P. Singh sir. And dear students, let me tell you that when COVID was there, so that time Professor A.P. Singh sir, he was the dean of University School of Law and Legal Studies. And when we were not aware about Zoom and other things, so during that time, it was Professor A.P. Singh sir who laid down all the policies. And that time, from March, lockdown was there, and our final year students, they were waiting for their Viva. Then he took initiative and then he laid down all the policies. He decided that how to conduct online Viva. He conducted few meetings with all the dean of various affiliate institutes, and this is how we have done that first online Viva under the leadership of Professor A.P. Singh sir. So likewise, there are many things. If I will start telling you, then maybe we will just go out. We will just chat on these particular things only. And one more thing is like punctuality of sir. I think we should all learn. And since morning, it was in my mind that sir is very punctual. We must be on time. So, sir, we started our first session today 9:30, and since 9:30, I'm after life of my faculty members that we must complete timely because sir will join dot on time. And I'm very happy to tell you, sir, that since last 2 days, like yesterday and today, Center for IPR. This is one of our center, and very successfully they are doing all the deliberations on the global convergence of IPR. Indeed, we are celebrating IPR of 2026. Uh, in fact, I would say that every day we are required to celebrate IPR, and all the more it is required when we are dealing in academics. So classroom teaching, in that also you will find that somehow we always invent about ourselves, about our students, at times about our subject. So this is a continuous process. So therefore it is an honor to celebrate this IPR day, and we are very happy to put on this particular on the record that University of New Hampshire, with which we are having MOU. So in collaboration with this university, we are having this conference on IPR. Law is an interdisciplinary in nature, and I would say that IPR is all the more interdisciplinary in nature, and this has been proved since the last these 2 days because of the conference. So sub themes, my team like center, they have given some sub themes, but I'm sure that because of the deliberations, because of the various papers which have been presented by various delegates across the country, and in fact from abroad also, they have touched various corners of IPR. And this time, this theme of IPR is related to sports law. And here also, I would say that 2 days they were having playing sports actually, just to identify which paper will go in which session and under which theme. So a lot of brainstorming sessions have been taken place, and it was really a learning experience for all of us. Honorable Justice C. Harishankar, he inaugurated the conference and he set the tone of the entire conference. And we are very happy to welcome you to this valedictory session of IPR conference, that is Global Convergence of IPR. And it is really an honor that valediction address will be delivered by you. So with this, on behalf of Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies, Technical Campus, Vivekananda School of Law and Legal Studies, on behalf of all my faculty and students and all the delegates who have joined from various places, on behalf of all of them, I would like to welcome you, sir, to this valedictory session. Thank you. Yes,
Thank you,
Nandini.
ma'am, for your gracious and inspiring words. I now invite Ayushi Notani and Kashish Kocher, student convener and co-convener, Center for Intellectual Property Rights, to share their reflections for the conference.
Thank you so much, Nandini. Good afternoon, everyone. As we come to the close of the collaborative conference on global convergence on IP, organized by VSLLS WIPS TC, New Delhi, India, in collaboration with the University of New Hampshire, Franklin Pierce of School of Law, US, on 24th and 25th of April 2026 to celebrate World IP Day. We stand here with a deep sense of pride, gratitude, and fulfillment as the student conveners of CIPR with VSLLS WIPS TC. Over the past 2 days, what we have witnessed is not just a conference, but a convergence of ideas, perspectives, and global voices on one of the most dynamic fields today, that is intellectual property. Day one of the conference commenced on a highly inspiring note, marked by the gracious presence of eminent dignitaries who set the foundation for the sessions ahead. The inaugural ceremony was honored by the esteemed presence of Honorable Justice C. Harishankar Sir, whose address as chief guest underscored the evolving role of IP in contemporary jurisprudence. The session was further enriched by the insightful keynote delivered by Professor Zuvi Rosen Sir, adding further depth. Professor Dr. T.V. Subbarao Sir offered his valuable guidance and special address. The day continued with engaging plenary sessions featuring distinguished experts, included Dr. John M. Garan Sir, Praveen Anand Sir, and Dr. N.G. Ray Sir.
Day 2 of the conference was marked by rigorous academic engagement and vibrant scholarly exchange. The day featured 13 technical sessions, bringing together more than 100 delegates and witnessing the presentation of over 70 research papers from delegates across India and various countries worldwide. These sessions reflected a diverse range of perspectives and in-depth analysis on contemporary issues in intellectual property law. We were privileged to host an esteemed panel of session chairs comprising eminent academicians from leading universities and colleges, as well as seasoned legal professionals from abroad and India practicing before the Honorable Supreme Court and the Delhi High Court, each bringing over a decade of experience in their respective fields. We have had the privilege of receiving international and national research contributions, witnessing enthusiastic participation from across India, with papers coming in from states such as Delhi, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Kerala, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and many more. CGCIB 2026 was envisioned as a multidisciplinary forum bringing together academia, professionals, and industry experts to explore the evolving role of intellectual property in a technology-driven world through keynote addresses, plenary sessions, and research presentations. With discussions centered on diverse themes covering biotechnology, medicine, AI, IT, business strategy, and sustainable innovation, it effectively bridged theory and practice, enabling delegates to engage with global developments and contribute to the discourse on innovation and intellectual property. As we conclude, we would just like to say this is not just the end of a conference. It is the beginning of conversations, collaborations, and ideas that will continue to grow beyond these 2 days. Thank you so much.
Thank you, both of you. It is now my proud privilege to welcome the chief guest of this conference, Professor Dr. Amarpal Singh, Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, National Law University, Lucknow. A distinguished academician and administrator with nearly 4 decades of experience, he has made remarkable contributions to legal education, research, and institutional leadership, with numerous publications and academic engagements to his credit. He earned his PhD in law from Rajasthan University, Jaipur in 2002. His areas of specialization include environmental law, constitutional law, and legal philosophy. Sir, we are truly honored by your gracious presence and kindly invite you to address the gathering.
Thank you, Nandini, for a very liberal introduction. As my colleagues know, I'm just any other teacher, just trying to contribute my bit in whatever little I can. To me, this is a privilege to be part of this program, in the sense that when I get associated with institutions like WIPS or any other institution that is affiliated to IP University, it always a homecoming. And Professor Rashmi Shalpekar was mentioning that like 10 years and all that. In fact, there are colleagues around. I saw Deepali Vasist, Dr. Deepali Vasist. When I landed in Delhi, I recall she was working with which, I don't remember which institution, but she would come to do those duties in IP University campus at Kashmiri Gate, 2010, 16 years back. So there may be a lot of friends who know me for more than a decade or two, in fact. Fine. Coming back to this program, the Collaborative Conference on Global Convergence of IPR 2026, organized by Vivekanand Institute of Professional Studies, Law School, as you call it, Vivekanand School of Law and Legal Studies, on the pattern of USLLS, in collaboration with the University of New Hampshire. I take this opportunity to congratulate the organizers on a very, very relevant topic. Well, the function of a valedictory session is always to summarize the masses of what has transpired during the conference and taking a message. I shall also try to articulate something which might appear to be very unconventional, because IPR is IPR after all. So it might appear to you a bit unconventional, but I shall try to articulate a message that you can accept, think over, and take with you. Obviously, I shall address current challenges that we face in IPR process today, these days, but also refer to the generic debate that we had, which is very rarely referred to these days, about the very justifiability of IPR regime. I'll elaborate that. In that context, I shall also try to touch upon Indian tradition of knowledge system as to how do we, do we relate to IPR system. Now, before I start, I would make a couple of points which are important. Any kind of a IPR regime actually is a byproduct or an evolution of changing economic and social structures. So say, for example, when a system changes from agricultural economy to industrial economy, a lot of innovations are needed, and therefore the IPR systems evolve. This happened to us some 200, 300 years back. But one thing that we did take note of, and I shall elaborate it with reference to India, that every system reacts to it in a very different way, to the changing process. We had our own way of reacting to it, though nowadays we are talking about convergence, and this conference is on convergence. That's why I am making this small point. The second point that I intend to make before I start with the subject as such is that we rarely note the change element we talk about, that change keeps on happening. Normally we believe and keep on saying that everything changes except the rule of change and so on and so forth. But we rarely note this aspect, that this change process has a speed dimension. And this speed dimension is something that keeps on, increasing exponentially. Difficult to summarize the whole idea behind this, but if somebody remembers Alvin Toffler, who talks about what he calls future shock, where too much of a change happens in too little a time, and thereby it really makes it very difficult for the process to react to it, for the system to react to it. So this change element and the speed element of the change is something that is also very important, which I shall refer. But these 2 points I wanted to make. One recurrent theme of IPR from the very beginning, and it continues to be so even today, is that, as to how do we incentivize innovation and also ensure public access to, those innovations. Because public welfare is equally important. While you give protection to IPR creators, the owners of IPR and all that, you also need to think of, the access to the benefits of this to a larger social system. I shall elaborate all these ideas. Now, there are a lot of issues. During 10, 12 years, 10, 20 years, 2 decades or so, we have been talking about digital piracy after this onset of internet revolution, and now AI is coming. So digital piracy and copyright issues have been discussed a lot. And I recall during last or when I was dean, I recall dozens of PhDs done on this subject. A lot of issues about it. Now AI, the onset of AI, which has actually changed the whole idea, is the element I am referring in the form of a future shock. This is something that actually puts the whole context in a new frame altogether. And we'll have to start rethinking about. And it is in this context that I talk about Indian tradition as to how we Indians have to rethink. Not necessarily have to, but one of the options that we can think of. Just by way of a reference, if you look back at Indian tradition, in ancient India, in fact, there are no traces of IPR-like thing. And the reasons are very simple. Knowledge system or any kind of a innovation in Indian system, Indian tradition system, was actually syncretic in character, which means that innovations belongs to everyone. They are not owned by 1 or 2 persons. They belong to everyone because everybody is contributing to it. In fact, when, say, for example, take any innovation for that purpose, the innovator does not start from the scratch. There is an accumulated stock of knowledge which he starts from and then creates a certain new invention. He benefits from the social evolution, economic evolution, technological evolution. So giving the whole credit to him is slightly, to my understanding, slightly innocuous to my understanding. I'll elaborate this point. But let me complete the point I was trying to make as to how Indian system, as I said in the beginning, that every system reacts to it in a different way. We also reacted in a different way. The traditional approach was very simple, that knowledge belonged to everybody, and therefore everyone is contributing to it. In fact, the best example could be what we call CPR system. CPR is actually what we call common property resource system. So we never had, like for, contemporary generations, it might appear very strange though, but Indian system was never something wherein, uh, individual and what we call public-private property wasn't the kind of a system that we had. It was called common property resource, to which everybody has an access. Knowledge was also a resource, so everybody has an access to it, and therefore anyone who actually innovated on something, he will not say that I have created it. He will attribute it to the whole system. And that's how, if you look at some of the earliest innovations, say for example Vedic system. Now Veds are known as apaurushaya. Apaurushaya means not created by individuals. And in fact, you will not find specific names, though generally there are names given to that these things were articulated by this rishi or that rishi. There are several names, but you do not give the credit of these creations to any one single individual, because they belong to everyone. Everybody contributed to it. In fact, I'm forgetting the name of that philosopher who a lot of work has been done on that subject, and we might be coming back to those positions once again, where he says that actually the future of anything in terms of technology or gains or IP or anything is not in concentration, but in distribution, in uh, diverting it to the common man, public. I'll come back to that point. Now, that was ancient India. That was ancient India. When we come back to say modern India, then of course, at one point of time when our economic system was not really that evolved, we had process patents. Then we changed it under WIPO and TRIPS systems and made it a product patent as well. But then we added, this is something that you must have read, and it's a common knowledge for law students. Then we had 3D added to for the purpose of preventing that evergreening of patents, and we have several or other series of judgments by the Supreme Court of India in Novartis litigation and all that. So that is something that we all know. I don't have to get into that. These are all things that we have been debating, articulating, and talking about for a very long time. In terms of, as I was saying, that AI presents or represents that challenge that Alvin Toffler terms as future shock. Too much of a change happening in too little a time, and we do not know how do we react to it. In fact, some of the changes, for example, just a week back, Anthropic has released a new AI model, which is becoming a headache for our banking system. And there's a huge amount of consultations happening in Indian firms and Anthropic delegates, and a lot of things are happening as to how it is going to affect our system. So a lot of things that are happening that we are not able to appreciate properly. Now, to my understanding, and this is the point I try to make, that to my understanding, this is the opportune time that we should rethink our IPR strategies. And this is the unconventional idea that I'm going to talk about. The whole background that I talked about with reference to every system reacting to the IPR process in a different way and the speed element of the change, this entire background I tried to make for the purpose of making this small. Please try to understand that IPR or any innovation for that purpose, any innovator or an inventor, whatever he does, he builds on public knowledge and takes benefit of it. Therefore, giving the entire credit to him for any kind of an innovation, to my understanding, is doing injustice. Injustice element happens in these situations. In fact, in such conditions, sometimes social costs are too high. And this is something we have been, and I shall elaborate this as well. Social costs are actually too high. And when we talk about IP protection and all of that, then there are a lot of studies done on this subject as to because nowadays cost benefit analysis of every kind of implementation structure is also worked out by the governmental mechanism. So there are studies available as to what are the social costs in implementation of IPR regime. In fact, apart from that, the social costs of exclusion for the common man are enormous, because byproduct of IPR protection is what I call anti-commons. So instead of commons, the common knowledge system is actually appropriated by an individual, and an anti-common element is created. That is the point I'm trying to make. Monopoly rights, they impose high costs on society. That is something we need to realize. We need to appreciate and understand that inventions are any kind of innovation for that part. Innovation or invention is a cumulative product of a long time accumulation of knowledge system. If we look at, say, for example, some of the latest innovations done in, say, pharmaceutical sector, just some simple examples we can talk of. If you look at every invention for that purpose requires some kind of a cumulative patent system. So suppose, for example, X element has been invented. For the purpose of making it relevant in the market system, you need to have at least Y, Z, ABC as well. Now, what happens when these monopoly rights are created in one big firm, suppose for a big corporation, then smaller firms generally would stay away from that particular area, and invention and innovation is actually prohibited. Innovation and invention is actually hampered by this process. This is something we need to understand. We need to understand and appreciate that the existence of patents sometimes distorts the incentive regimes, because it diverts a lot of innovative activity towards more profitable products. That is something we need to appreciate and understand. It doesn't go into socially useful products. And how the exclusion costs, if you just recall a very recent pandemic that happened 3-4 years back, pandemic, and the way people not actually inventions, to be very frank, they were just sort of evergreening kind of things and collaborations of this and that corporation, and they earned huge profits to the detriment of common man. Justice element in any kind of a legal, social, or economic process is a necessary component. You simply cannot wish it away. I'll just give you an example. Sometimes we say that this is something that you have studied in social compact theories, that we have moved from uh, uh, a natural state, like Hobbes, for example, talking about that state of nature was very brutish, nasty, and short, and that everybody is running at each other's throat and all that. So in Indian tradition, it is called Matsya Nyaya. In the state of nature, the bigger fish eats up the smaller fish. But when we graduate to a civilized form of existence, we need to appreciate and understand that in this civilized system of existence, the smaller fish is protected by the bigger fish. And this, IPR regime that we are practicing and propagating, actually, I would say, does not take care of it in a proper way. There are systems that state system actually tries to protect. For example, we have a compulsory licensing system for the purpose of balancing the incentivization of innovations and the public welfare and all that. But many times the scale tilts in favor of the bigger fish, and the smaller fish is left and high and dry. That is one point. In those, most decisions in human affairs should not happen on efficiency alone. That is the point I'm trying to make. IPR is something, which need to take care of that social justice element, the equality element, the equanimity element. I recall there is a social thinker, Michael Polanyi, who talks about a system where inventions or innovations can be promoted by way of a competition, and state can reward the innovator without hampering the benefit to the common man. Something of that sort should happen. Now, these are the things that we have been talking about. As I said, this is a generic debate. In today's context might appear unconventional, as I was trying to say in the beginning, but that is one point that I wanted to make, that when we talk about the existing challenges that we have, we also need to start thinking that at this point of time, when the too much of a change is happening and too little a time, this gives an opportunity to rethink about the whole idea. Can we think in terms of a something that Michael Polanyi advocates, promoting innovation and inventions by way of a competition, and putting on the the burden of rewarding the innovator on the head of the state system? Why can't we do that? If a state system like India can keep on feeding 80 crore people, like free rations is being given to almost 70-80 crore people even today. So if it can do that, why can't it really reward the innovator and promote innovation by way of a competition, as Michael Polanyi is talking about? Now, these are the issues that are generally not talked about in the conferences that we have on IPR these days. And this is the message that I would like to give. Maybe just a cautionary note that I'm sounding, I'm not sure about it. And I take this opportunity once again, to put on record my sincere gratitude and thanks to the organizers of this conference for inviting me in this valedictory session, and also listening to me very patiently. Thank you so much, ma'am, for allowing me to associate with something which I called homecoming in the beginning. Thank you so much. Over to you, beta, Nandini.
Thank you, sir, for your motivating address. That was really inspiring and thought-provoking for all the IP enthusiasts.
Yes. So,
So-
Nandini, if I may take just 1 minute. So, sir, after listening your speech, we are thinking to have one more conference.
No, but these are the things that we have been talking about for a very long time.
Yes.
But
Yes, sir.
nowadays, these debates have subsided. So I just thought that
Yes.
why don't, reignite this debate?
Correct.
Because this is part of Indian tradition as well.
Yes.
That was the
Yes.
point I was trying to make.
Great. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, Nandini, please.
So, at the outset of this felicitation, I extend my sincere appreciation to all the participants for their commendable efforts. The conference has indeed been a highly enriching and rewarding experience. We successfully conducted 13 technical sessions, and it is a matter of great pride that 13 best presenters have been selected, one from each session. So, we now proceed to the most awaited segment of this event. I now request Professor Dr. Rashmi Salpekar ma'am, Dean, Vivekananda School of Law and Legal Studies, WIPS TC, to kindly declare the results for this conference.
So, a lot of congratulations to all the winners. However, in conference, what is more required is deliberations and discussions and sharing our thoughts. Like sir also said, that rather than concentration, distribution is required. So this distribution we do in the conference. So, okay. So just now I have received message regarding the result. So Nipun, on behalf of all of us, kindly read the best presenters' names. Please go ahead.
Okay, ma'am, I'll do the needful. Yes. So for technical session 1, we have Abhi Rami as from WIPS TC. From technical session 2, we have Kavita Joshi, Gurman Singh, Siddhi Jain from WIPS TC. Technical 3, we have Anirudh Venkatesh and Dr. Nitha, academicians, professionals, and PhD students who are for School of Law, Christ University, Bangalore. Technical technical session 4, we have Priya Rathi, research scholar, Faculty of Law, Jamia Millia. Technical session 5, we have Vishnoi, research scholar from Delhi University. Technical session 6, we have KP Subhada, fourth year law student from Christ University, Pune. Technical session 7, we have Aslesha Gora, third year student from WIPS TC. Technical session 8, we have Manya Modi and Sohani Gupta from WIPS TC, they are co-authors. Technical session 9, Archana Verma, PhD scholar from Amity University. Technical session 10, Vidushi Srivastava and Kaushika Malhotra, WIPS TC. Technical session 11, Vanshu Varma from Law Center 2. Technical session 12, Ekta Divedi and Dhanvik Chaube from Bennett University. Technical session 13, Purbasha Chakrabarti and Dr. Abhishek Raj from ICPAI University, Dehradun. Congratulations to all the Best Paper Presenter Awards awardee. Many congratulations from the entire team. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Nandini, over to you. Unmute yourself, beta.
Apologies, ma'am. So thank you, ma'am. I would like to now request Dr. Nipun Gupta Jain, ma'am, once again, Associate Professor, Convener for CIPR, VSLLS WIPS TC, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. So as the convener for CIPR, I extend my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Chief Justice, Professor Dr. Amarpal Singh, sir, Vice Chancellor Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, National Law University, for gracing the valedictory ceremony with his esteemed presence and enriching and insightful address, which has focused on interface between IPR and the common property system, and also discussed the nuances that exist in our IPR system till date. So we have noted your feedback and definitely will work on it in our next conference, as stated by ma'am. Thank you, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule and making the conference meaningful one. My sincere gratitude goes to our Honorable Chief Guest, Honorable Justice C. Hari Shankar, sir, High Court of Delhi, who graced the occasion inaugural ceremony to with our collaborators, University of New Hampshire, Concord, United States, for their academic partnership and support. Professor Zuvi Roman from UNH as a keynote speaker under the collaboration and MOU with UNH. To Professor Subarao, sir, for gracing the occasion on the inaugural session. Our plenary session speaker, Mr. Praveen Anand, Managing Partner at Anand & Anand, Dr. Ray, Associate Professor at Lancaster, Dr. Garan, Associate Dean for Technology Innovation, Nova Southeastern University, United States, for significantly contributing to the intellectual depth of this conference through their lectures. I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our chairman, Dr. S.C. Vatsa, Vice Chairman, Sri Sunit Vatsa, to our Dean, Professor Dr. Rashmi Salvekar, for unwavering support and guiding us throughout the organization of this event. It could not have been possible without you, ma'am. Thank you so much. A special note of thanks to my organizing team, Dr. Tanvi, who is the co-convener, Dr. Payal, Dr. Dipali, ma'am, Mr. Abhinav, who have supported throughout the conference, our enthusiastic executive team, my co-convener, student team, and all the volunteers who have put in their energy and dedications to ensure that the successful event is happening. I extend my heart also sincere thanks to all the chairs for all the technical session, for their insightful moderation, and to all the delegates, participants for their active engagement and thought-provoking discussions that has been taking place for last 2 days. Finally, I thank everyone who is present here today for making this conference a grand success. Your participation and presence have truly made this event a meaningful and memorable one. Thank you. With this, we come to an end to our conference. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am. That was truly heartfelt and connected with all of us. With heartfelt gratitude to all our dignitaries, speakers, faculty members, participants, delegates, organizing committee members, and the technical team, we formally conclude CGCIP 2026. We would like to express our deepest gratitude to our respected Dean, Professor Dr. Rashmi Salpikar ma'am, for her
Yes, fine,
unwavering
fine. She has already thanked me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your valuable time. Thank you. Yes, now we can close the meeting. Okay, thank you.